political leader of the United National Congress and the best Prime Minister Trinidad and Tobago has ever had, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, who is listening and who is on the way here. Parliamentary colleagues, both in the upper and lower houses of Parliament. Local government representatives joining us this evening is the young and dynamic Mayor of Chaguanas, Faik Mohammed, and the members of the Chaguanas Borough Council. Brothers and sisters of the UNC, citizens all. Tonight we are in what used to be the battleground marginal constituency of Chaguanas East. However, since the dynamic, hard-working, and indefatigable Vandana Mohit became your Member of Parliament, Chaguanas East remains in the solid grip of the United National Congress. Tonight, we continue the battle as we fight for peace, bread, and justice for the people of our great nation, with one party, with one leader, and one purpose, and that is victory, victory, victory with Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the UNC. Brothers and sisters, over the past few months, I have been highlighting and speaking out on the impending increases in electricity and water rates. Currently, the Regulated Industries Commission is at the third and final prong of the statutory process to determine whether they should recommend to the government an increase. They are at the stage of public consultations. Consultations which your party, your leader, your MPs and your representatives had to fight tooth and nail for. After we forced the Regulated Industries Commission to engage in face-to-face consultations, the pushback came from civil society, from community groups, from business groups, from chambers and many others, and that pushback has been tremendous. In a blatant, naked and shameless attempt to hide behind closed doors for the past 2 weeks, the puppets of the government are yet to make public the submissions of interest groups that they were meeting behind closed doors. Brothers and sisters, this evening, I want to ask those interest groups whether or not they will continue, as Dr. Munilal tells us, pusur behind closed doors, and they will refuse to stand for the rights and privileges of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. This evening on this platform, the United National Congress calls on those civil society groups to come out from the darkness of the shadows and say what is your position as it relates to these impending increases. It is my information that a lot of these groups share a lot of the positions that have been adopted and the concerns that have been raised by the United National Congress and our representatives. I want to ask the Regulated Industries Commission. I want to ask economist Valmiki Arjun. I want to ask the head of the Supermarkets Association, Mr. Dipti. I want to ask AmJam. I want to ask the Chambers of Commerce, will you continue to remain silent while the people of Trinidad and Tobago continue to face the hardship imposed us by a wicked and callous government? You must come out of the shadows of those secret pusur meetings that you had in the Trinidad Hilton while drinking tea, sipping tea and eating scones. You must tell us whether or not you have raised the exact same concerns that we have been raising as representatives of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. You cannot want to play mass and spray powder. I want to ask the Minister of Public Utilities, you know, Ms. John, they go and they have these meetings and they throw out this old talk and political mamagai Tonight from this platform, we will be bold, we'll be honest, and we will be truthful, and we will be in your face and in your space. And I want to tell Marvin Gonzalez, you can run, but you cannot hide. I want to tell Keith Rowley, you can play mass, but you cannot freight powder. You see, when you come and you tell citizens on Saturday that it is the opposition that is being obstructionist, and the opposition is hijacking these consultations. Truth be told, that while we in the opposition have attended these public consultations, man like Anil Roberts, MP like Khadija Amin, we cannot see one representative, whether it's elected or appointed by the People's National Movement, voicing the concerns of the people that they were elected by, the people that they represent, brothers and sisters. But we will not be afraid. We will be those who have been called to serve, and we will serve in the best way that we know possible, and that is speaking on your behalf. Brothers and sisters, over the past few days, the Regulated Industries Commission, they put out an advertisement in the newspapers. And that advertisement is for the remaining of the public consultations that will go up to the end of March. Do you know that in those public consultations, they are putting 2 and 3 events in one day? And that is an attempt by the administration to stifle your voices and stifle your concerns. That is a way to ensure that the issues that the opposition and others are raising will be suppressed. We have been instructed by the political leader of the United National Congress. You see, when Mayaro and Sandy Grande meets on Saturday, they will have 2 public consultations on the same day. When Chaguanas East, Chaguanas West, Caroni East, Caroni Central, Couva North, Couva South, Tabaquite, Pointe-a-Pierre meet, they will be meeting at the Center Point Auditorium on Saturday or Wednesday, March the 15th. All those constituencies that represent over 100,000 citizens in this country have been lumped together. You see, they are anxious for these consultations to be over and done with. And you know, in local parlance, we say, mouth open and story jump out. Marvin Gonzalez, who has no role in these public consultations, went somewhere over the weekend to say, well, in April, the report from the RIC will come to the cabinet, and then the cabinet will determine the way forward. I want to tell Marvin Gonzalez and the government here this evening that while you are preparing and you are already signaling to the population that the RIC will send the report to the cabinet, we and the UNC are reliably informed and advised that they have already instructed TNTech of the rates to impose on you come June 1st. So this has all been Papi Show. This has all been Mama Guy. But the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa has instructed members of Parliament that if you want serious, meaningful consultation, and if the RIC intends on doing the job that they are lawfully supposed to do, then accede to the requests that have been made by almost all 19. By tomorrow, all 19 would have written letters to the RIC, which I have in my hand here this evening, calling on the RIC to go into every nook and cranny of this country. Do not only hold public consultations in Center Point Auditorium. The people of Couva North have a voice. The people of Couva South have a voice. Chaguanas East is where we stand tonight. Your MP Vandana Mohit, she has joined in the calling of the RIC to hold public consultations in the length and breadth of this country. And let us see, let us hear whether or not what the people of these constituencies have to say is any different from what Anil Roberts have to say, from what Barry Padarath have to say, from what Khadija Amin have to say. We have all been saying the very same thing, which is against the backdrop of high crime, high food prices, where people cannot afford the basic commodities in this country. Hold your hands, RIC. Hold your hands, because people do not have money to buy food in this country today, far less to pay the high prices for higher electricity and water rates. That has been the position of the UNC. And come to that public consultation on the 15th and the 11th, we are sounding warning to the RIC here this evening that you better know what you're doing, because we will do everything lawfully to ensure that we stop the process, even if it means going to the courts of Trinidad and Tobago on behalf of our people. Brothers and sisters, in the last few remaining minutes, I want to deal with the issue that has been near and dear to me and to all of our representatives. But this issue has really been the baby of the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar. From when she was Minister of Education to when she was Attorney General, Mrs. Persad-Bissessar has been at the forefront of fighting for children's rights in this country. Senator Jerlene John, our deputy political leader, together with MP Anita Haynes, they sit on a joint select committee of Parliament. And that joint select committee of Parliament met on Friday. And several issues at that joint select committee were dealt with. And I have always said to you, if they don't have feelings and they cannot claim their own children like Faris Al-Rawi and Keith Rowley, you expect that they will have love, care and concern for my child and yours? Tonight on this platform, we will expose those political prostitutes and what they are. I want to tell you, brothers and sisters, that at the Joint Select Committee on Friday gone, we were told that come March 31st, not a deadline set by Jerlene John or Barry Padarath or Kamala Persad-Bissessar, but a deadline that was set by the government through the then Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi, that all children's homes would be licensed after the Justice Judith Jones and the Sabga report was made totally public. In June of 2022, in the Senate, answering a question on behalf of the Prime Minister, Senate leader at that time, Paula Gopi-Skoon, said, by March 31st of 2023, there will be ample and sufficient time to ensure all these children's homes would be licensed so that by March 31st, none of these homes will be closed and none of these children who reside in these homes will be displaced. The sad reality that exists today is come March 31st, 2023, over 200 poor, innocent children will be placed on the streets because the government has failed to meet the deadline of licensing all the children's homes in this country. From 2015, when they came into office and they placed Ayanna Webster Roy in the office of the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister took responsibility as a line minister, we have been saying to resource the Children's Authority with both personnel and finance to ensure that the Children's Authority works at the most optimum. From then to now, they have stood in the Parliament and they have said that the opposition is lying. We are not telling the truth, that they are resourcing the Children's Authority and they are taking care of the needs of our children. Tonight, I want to point to your screen where we will hear when I raised this issue and what was the response from Minister Ayanna Webster Roy, sitting in the office of the Prime Minister of Keith Rowley.
Chair, for years, under this administration, government has denied that the Children's Authority has been under-resourced and understaffed. The minister has indicated that 70% of this allocation will be utilized with respect to recruiting staff for the Children's Authority. Could the Honourable Minister indicate what will be the process? Have they identified these persons? Are they already operating, or is it that these are persons to be hired? And is it an admission today that really the Children's Authority has been under-resourced and understaffed for years under this administration?
Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I reject the notion that the Children's Authority has been under-resourced and understaffed. The Children's Authority over the period would have been expanded, and because we expanded, we would be required to recruit. And Madam Speaker, the funding will be utilized to pay current staff, and as we expand and we continue to improve our services, to pay those who will be coming on board. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I want you to pay attention to your screen once more. Can you put up the memo from the Children's Authority, an internal memo of the Children's Authority? And this is what the internal memo of the Children's Authority had to say. This is an internal document of the Children's Authority. And it says, "Dear colleagues, on behalf of the Director Acting, please be advised that the Office of the Director and Finance team have been working..." Brothers and sisters, please stand as we welcome the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, political leader of the United National Congress. Political leader, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, as she continues the fight Brothers and sisters, in the last few minutes I have remaining, I raised with you earlier a video on the screen where I raised at the Joint Select Committee the issues facing the Children's Authority in terms of understaffing and under-resourcing. You saw the response for yourself, where the minister with responsibility for children affairs for years have denied the understaffing and under-resourcing of the Children's Authority. Up on the screen, I have a memo from the Children's Authority. This memo is dated, an internal memo, dated February 27th, 2023. And it says, "Dear colleagues, on behalf of the Director, please be advised that the Office of the Director and Finance team have been working assiduously with stakeholders to get salaries released. We will provide an update in a subsequent email. We apologize for the delay and inconvenience." Brothers and sisters, this is one of several memos that we have in our possession with respect to the Children's Authority. They cannot pay staff at the Children's Authority. They force them to sign non-disclosure agreements, not telling the public what is happening at the Children's Authority. They have frozen all hiring at the Children's Authority for specialized services. Brothers and sisters, today when you see the front pages of our nation's newspapers showing that over 200 children are at the mercy of this government, they continue to hide what we know and you know exists in every sector of this country. And that is malfeasance and incompetence and corruption to the highest. Where these important institutions that are needed to protect our nation's children and protect the interest of our nation's children are denied the much needed finance and support from the government. This evening, I've shared with you some of the critical areas that are affecting our country. We will continue as your representatives to be out there in full force, to give voice to the issues that affect you most. But we call upon you this evening to join with us, to join with our political leader as we go on to the road of victory, putting forward the vision of the United National Congress and not only complaining, but providing solutions by not only highlighting the problems affecting our nation, but putting forward real tangible solutions with a competent, capable and caring leader in the person of Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Brothers and sisters, onward we go to the road of victory. Victory onward, victory forward, and victory for United National Congress.
The voice of the people is the voice of God.